Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Lakers Lens podcast, episode 6, week 6. I'm your host. Well, we're both hosts. I don't know why. It's just like easier.
Well,
to
you're
say.
the host. I'm the.
I guess you're like an analyst.
Yeah.
You're
I'm just
analyst / host.
You're Ernie, and I'm Charles Barkley.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can be all three of them. My name is Matt Hollenbeck, and this is my co-host analyst. What's your name?
I'm Max Arquilla. What's up, everyone?
Cool. And we're getting back into it this week. Kind of an interesting week, to be honest. Not what we really expected in terms of predictions, and I'll preface moving forward by saying that we did in fact wait a day to film or to record because the Lakers have been playing on Mondays past couple of weeks, so we added another day, so we'll cover the Hawks game as well, but we didn't give a preview for it because that would have been in the previous episode. But I think predictions wise, we both said 3-1, and we were wrong.
2-2, right? Or
2-2.
Yeah, 2-2.
Yeah.
Not what we wanted, but
disappointing.
Yeah.
But let's break it down, as I like to say. Let's get started on that Sixers game. I think we did predict a loss there, and we did lose by 1 point. Sixers 107, Lakers 106. Came down to the wire.
Yeah. That was a wild game. Wow.
Yeah, LeBron 34 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists in 39 minutes. That's a lot of burn for LeBron. AD 23, 8-2. Marc Gasol 8, 2-3. Schroeder had 16, 4-3. Caruso 10 points off the bench in 16 minutes. Super efficient. Just a note, Wesley Matthews, 20 minutes, 3 points,
You always gotta.
2 assists. But guess who played 7 minutes and had the same stat line? THT. Just a note there. And on the Sixers side, Joel Embiid, 28 points, 6 rebounds. Ben Simmons did better than I expected him to. Triple-double, 17, 11, and 10.
Oh, I didn't know he had a triple-double.
Tobias Harris 24, 7-3. Danny Green made some threes like he
Never did on the Lakers.
Yeah, 14 points, 6 rebounds. So what do you make of this loss, Max? Let me hear what you're thinking.
So just overall, like, I feel like this game was like I said, it was very interesting. It was very strange. It was just a wild game. It seemed like a game that we just didn't really deserve to win. I do want to point out that, and I really hate going to the officiating, but the officiating this game was probably the worst I've seen all season. It was completely one-sided. Extremely frustrating. But at the end of the day, we kind of fell apart mid-game, and we made that late run, which was great. And it's just good. It was so crazy. We literally went up, and we almost won that game. And then Tobias Harris closed it out. But I don't know. I think overall it was a very strange game. It was kind of one of those games where I think, again, this team seems to check in and out. You know, and it's extremely frustrating that we can't really keep that for a full game, especially these big games. You know, you want to do that with like average teams, below average teams. Okay, like I get it. You're pacing yourself in the regular season, but these like big games, like the Sixers, you want to win these games. You know, I mean, I don't know. So one thing, I'm gonna go through my notes here. I got quite a few notes. Again, kind of some just defensive breakdowns in this game. Really just stupid defensive plays. Like, I saw one, we were closing out on Simmons. Like, I mean, just what are we doing, dude? It was like that Giannis play where AD, I know it was just one play, but like AD closed out on Giannis. It's like, focus. Just focus for 48 minutes. That's my big thing going forward this season. Really, just focus. We're going to talk a lot about Schroeder, I feel like, this podcast, because he's just been too inconsistent. And we need more from him. Like, we desperately need it. The Hawks game, we'll get to that, but he hit a couple clutch shots, but still, again, this is how many did you have? Did you say?
16.
Okay. A little better than I had thought, but Pistons game, he was atrocious. Again, just the consistency, man. Like, we can't have this. The reason we got this guy, he's in his prime, he's a bona fide scorer. Like, LeBron's doing too much. He has too much weight on his shoulders. Like, we need this guy. I mean, I even want more than that. I want 20s from him. I want him in the 20s every game.
Yeah.
And so that's been a little disappointing, but we'll get into that a little deeper. I thought Gasol was passing well, which was nice to see. I think that's what you get with Gasol, right? You get spacing the floor and he can pass. He's not shooting well. Defensively, he's a liability, but he's at least giving you that passing on offense, and that helps our offense flow a little better. We got in foul trouble in this game again. And I want to talk, and I want to bring you into this here, but my frustration, dude, with Embiid, it's the same thing. It's the Trae Youngs, it's the James Hardens, it's the Joel Embiids. These guys are like figuring out how to rig the system. You know what I'm talking about. And it's like like there was a play that Joel Embiid had Alex Caruso on him. And he tried to do a sweep through move, flailed his body, threw his body into Caruso. I saw this great tweet from someone. I don't know what it was, but like they basically like wrote out the play that happened, and they showed like a video, and they're like they tagged Embiid, I think, and they're like, bro, just play ball, man. Like, I mean, come on, dude. It just looks terrible. It's bad for the game. What do you think the NBA can do to fix these flops and just, I mean, it's, you know what I'm talking about, man? It's frustrating. We were talking about it during the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just entertainment at this point, and they do fine, but like he's such a big guy that it's like, it's like if you, I don't know, like you can foul him, or he'll flop on a foul, and he doesn't like fly to the ground all the time, but he plays like you would see like Harden doing, like a guard flops. And it looks like it's fouls, but it's really not. And it's on top of that so hard to guard him anyways.
Exactly. It's like impossible.
It's either a flop foul, or a real foul, or he just scores on you. So it's like he has all three of those tools in his bag, and I feel like some of those players have just taken over the refs. Like
100%.
The refs, there's very few refs that aren't intimidated by these big, not big as in like size, but like the superstars of the league that basically dictate the rules. Yep. I mean, you've seen it with the Harden step back. I mean, where did that come from?
And then he throws his body into you, and it's like, where's his landing spot? And it's like, again, dude, if you're in good position as a defender and the offensive player jumps into you, that's not a shooting motion. They need to like start calling offensive, like it's an offensive foul.
Yeah. So I know you brought that up with Trae Young.
Trae Young does it too a lot. I mean, I like Trae Young more than I like Harden and Embiid. Like, I don't have as much of the issue, but like I started to notice it with him last night, and it's like, man, dude, it's like. It's so. What do you want the defender to do? Like, I mean, how can you be physical with those guys? You can't. Yeah. So, anyways, not to go on that for too long, but I think Markieff Morris, he looks like he's gotten benched for good reason. He's been atrocious this year, dude. I mean, terrible. He subbed in that Sixers game, airballs a 3. Oh, man. I mean, that's been disappointing because I was really excited about that signing. So I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he can figure it out, but he's been pretty poor. AD, again, I know this was a huge topic. A lot of Laker fans have been frustrated. He's starting to play a little better. Like the Celtics game, the Hawks game, he looked a little better. But man, a couple of these games he's looked soft. We have to admit it. I mean, again, LeBron is the old guy. AD's the one who's supposed to be playing a little more aggressive. I get it. He's injury prone. Like, pace yourself. But, man, dude, be a little more aggressive. You started to see it a little more last night, so I was happy to see that. But, man, this Sixers game, dude, he's getting pushed around by Embiid, I have to be honest. So, I don't know.
That goes back to your point about his finesse. Like, it seems like he always chooses finesse over physicality. Mm-hmm. And you see Harrell had played 15 minutes. Gasol was in foul trouble. Like, who else do we have, right?
Yep.
You know, like, we need someone.
Yeah.
At that point, he's the biggest presence we have on the floor.
And to rebound, like, just dominate, man. Embiid's 7'3", but you can jump, dude. Like get in there, be physical. Like, we're just gonna need. I'm just thinking, come playoff time. It's regular season, whatever. But like, come playoff time, like, we play the Jokic's. We play. If we meet the Sixers in the, could be in the finals. Mm-hmm. We're gonna need. AD's going to need to step up. He's going to have to say, you know what, I need to play more 5 and I need to be a little more physical. Because we just don't have the Dwight Howard. We can't put in a Dwight Howard to just say rough up Jokic. So. Yep. Okay.
No, it's very true.
Few more here. Caruso needs more minutes. I'm going to say it every podcast until it happens. I was listening to Vogel in a press conference, and he was saying he's just so valuable. I don't want to overwork him because he plays so hard and he puts his body on the line. He said something like that. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Yeah, it was a really weird, response. Play the guy more, dude. We're literally, we just play better. It's like we always go on our runs when Caruso subs in. Yeah. I can't. I honestly, I have so many positive things to say about Caruso and what he means to this team. Mm-hmm. People listening out there, this guy is maybe debatably the third most important player on this team.
Yeah.
And that might be a bold statement, but I don't care, dude, because he does every little thing you can imagine. You need guys like that to win a championship. You do. He helped us last year. So, Schroeder had 0 in the first half, I wrote here. So he had 16 in the second half. Again, dude, what are we doing, dude? How does that happen, man? That just... do you think there's too much weight on LeBron's shoulders in games like this?
It's scary. Yeah. It scares me knowing that we won a championship and, it seems like a lot of fourth quarters we just say, here you go, help us. Mm-hmm. And that can't really be like a long-term thing, I don't think.
A habit, almost, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it has to do with the rotate. I feel like the rotation plays a part in it for some reason. It seems like LeBron, he'll either do 2 stints in the fourth where he'll start it and then he'll come out midway through and then he'll come in for the end of the game, or he'll sit out the very beginning and then come in for the rest of the game. But I think usually it's that first one I said, and it seems like that will be fine going into 8 minutes, 7 minutes in the fourth, and then when he comes out, it's like AD can just not carry the weight in these close games in the fourth.
Yep.
And then we're playing catch up in the last 4 or 5 minutes, trying to make a miracle happen. And I just think that we can't. I mean, how many last second shots has LeBron had, or we've had a lot of close games that come down to the wire this year. Yeah. And it just doesn't have to be like that. And I tell you, Schroeder is not that person now.
Exactly, and that's why we got him. For that reason, to say, you know what, I'm gonna drop 30 tonight, and I'm gonna blow these guys out, so LeBron can just sit on the side and chill, and not have that. But it doesn't seem like that, and it's been a little disappointing. And we still got a lot of games to go, so I'm hoping it changes. But it's definitely right now an issue.
Yeah.
Because I want LeBron to be ready to go come playoff time. I don't care, dude. If he averages 4 points a game, and as long as we're winning, like, I don't care. I want LeBron to be in attack mode come playoff time because we need that. You know, and then if we can have Schroeder, like, have that confidence built from the regular season, watch out. With both them going, I mean, both them being the main scoring pieces, that would be deadly. Free throws, dude. This was the game where I think AD missed 2 and then LeBron missed 2. We would have won the game.
Yeah.
Right? This was the game, I'm pretty sure. Unacceptable, man. I just have no words, man. That is a focus thing. Remember, my key that I said at the start of the show, focus. That's just unacceptable. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I wanted to bring up the end of the game, the, like, end sequence.
Yep.
Where KCP hits a 3 with a minute left. We call timeout. We're down by 1 with about 18 seconds or something.
Oh,
15
I know
seconds.
what you're going to say.
And I liked it. I liked the play.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
LeBron had the ball at the top of the key. Schroeder sets like a really nice screen on Embiid, and AD just peels across the paint. Easy layup. And then there was a timeout. And I'm thinking, I think I was texting you, like, we need a play for if they score.
Yeah.
Because you have to plan for the worst situation possible.
How much time was left? Like 2 seconds? Or 3 seconds?
2 seconds. 2 seconds. But, like, I think in that situation, it's even... Because, okay, let's just say Harris made, like, a pretty tough, nice shot.
Yeah, it was a nice
Caruso.
shot. Yeah.
I wouldn't
Caruso's
have had it any other way.
undersized, too. Like, I mean, the guy has, like, all the... Yeah.
I mean, either Caruso or LeBron in that situation.
Yeah.
Maybe KCP, but tough shot, whatever, he made it. So, this... Like, I feel like it's easier to run a play after a made shot because the defense is scrambling too. So if you have an idea or, like, a play set, like, maybe, like, one of those screens where you can free someone up like, for, like, at least a running three-pointer or half-court shot...
Or, like, someone flash to the ball at, like, middle of the court, throw it to him, and then, like, another guy runs and you throw it. Like, it has to be quick, but, like... Yeah. Dude, they had no idea what they were doing. They all looked at each other.
Right now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, LeBron looks at Caruso. Caruso's walking to the bench
they gave
for
up.
Some reason.
It was weird.
And now he has Caruso take it out. LeBron runs to the corner, which makes no sense. Schroeder is just standing there. Should I get the ball? 80 flashes, trips, throws up a prayer, not even close, like, no chance.
You should always have a play set up with, like, a few seconds left when you have the ball at the other side. Like, something
especially right after a timeout.
Yeah, that was pretty poor. At least try something. It just looked like they had no idea what they're doing. Like, okay, listen, you're probably not going to get it. It's really hard to do. But at least try something. Have some sort of execution. So I agree, that was pretty bad.
Anything else for this game?
No, that's basically good for me. Learning experience. I think we can take a lot from this game.
Yeah. Well, I think this next game goes to your point about consistency and preserving LeBron and just our general energy after, like, a big game or, like, a tough loss. Blown out by the Pistons. 15-point loss.
Worst
Lakers
loss
92. Pistons 107. My boy Jeremy Grant didn't really go off, but
I know we thought he would.
Let me just read some of these names out to you. Wayne Ellington, former Laker, 20-2.
Insane. That guy's like 50, dude. What are we doing?
D Rose had 14. I like seeing D Rose play well. Blake Griffin 23-6. Mason Plumlee 17-10. Jeremy Grant 14-6. They didn't really have any crazy scoring, but LeBron had 22, 10, 7. Kuzma had a good game, 22 and 10. Schroeder 10, 4, 3.
That's terrible.
THT THT had 13 points in 14 minutes.
Yeah, he played great.
And then everyone else kind of did not play well. So how is this possible?
So, this game was, wow, extremely frustrating. We were just hanging around the whole game, just saying, we're playing the Pistons, no problem. We're going to blow them out at the end. We got LeBron. LeBron will take over. AD will take over, whatever. And just cruising through, down 2, up 2, tied, no problem. You know what? That's your problem right there. That's your problem. Because these guys are pros. And if you let any team hang around, it's just like the Warriors game. Those 2 terrible losses, we weren't focused. We were playing 50%, cruising through. We could probably coast through this game and win, right? No. You know what? These guys are pros. You let them hang out. That's why you punch them in the mouth in the first half. They should have been up by 20 points in the first half. Schroeder should have had 20 points in the first half. That guy should have been in attack mode. He should have gone off in this game. That is so embarrassing, dude. Honestly, it's embarrassing. I don't understand. Listen, I get it. You're on a long road trip. Your mind's not there. You're playing the Pistons. I get these games happen, and I see that side of things. But at the same time, this team's too talented to just come out like this. And to be tied with the Pistons throughout the whole game and then fall apart. You can't just... It's like the Grizzlies game earlier this year. It was the same thing. But you know what? We got bailed out by LeBron. You can't be doing that against these teams. The Grizzlies didn't have Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. They're 2 best players. So, that's my biggest takeaway from that game. It's just... It's the same thing as the Warriors game. And... You let these teams hang around. They're all pros. Anyone can get hot and take off, or go off in the last few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was really frustrated with Schroeder in this game. I thought this was a game he could really just go off. I really did. Coming into this game, I was like, dude, I'm expecting Schroeder to be filling out this game, and he just wasn't. So I think all in all, it was just a really... Oh, we didn't have AD that game. That obviously hurt, but still, man. I mean, it's just... We're way more talented than that Pistons roster. I mean, come on. So, I really want to just put that game behind us, and I feel like all Laker fans do. But, we keep playing like this. It's not going to end well. It's just not.
I'm scared of a trend that could be pretty consistent, especially like what I've talked about before, where bad teams look at us like it's a bigger challenge than a different team. Mm-hmm. So they're already playing harder.
Yep.
But you better believe that the Pistons were looking at us playing the Sixers the night before, and they're saying, oh, they're tired. They just had a tough loss. We're now even more motivated to come out there and smack them.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lakers aren't even thinking that way.
Nope.
They're thinking the way that you just explained.
Yep.
This should be a walk in the park. No AD, no problem. LeBron will take over. That's not the case.
Yep.
You just get outplayed. That happens.
And the Pistons were on a back-to-back too, I believe.
Yeah.
And again, it's like this whole... It just... I want to see other guys, man. I want to see... This is a game Kuzma. How much did he have this game? He played okay, right? I actually remember.
He had 22.
Okay, so he actually played well. But these other guys, this is... I keep saying Schroeder. This is a Schroeder game, dude. Come on. This is a game where I need to see these role players say, you know what? I'm going to just take over this game. I want to see someone. I don't care if you're KCP. I don't care if you're a quote-unquote role player when LeBron and AD are healthy. AD's out. That's your opportunity to say, you know what? I'm going to take over this game. Mm-hmm. I'm going to just with full confidence, no hesitation, just lock and load and just knock down 3.
Well, touch on THT a little bit. That's kind of a description of what you just were explaining. Take advantage of these situations. We're down. It's embarrassing. Vogel puts THT in. He scores 13 points in 14 minutes. And I'm going to keep making this comparison. Wesley Matthews, 17 minutes, 3 points.
He's so bad.
So what are we doing?
You know what? I said this in the podcast. We both did, but I was bringing this up a while ago, and then you know what? They put in THT, and he starts playing well. What do you know? Listen, let the guy make mistakes. Let it... Like, he had a rough game last night. It's fine. Who cares? You want Wesley Matthews out there? He doesn't do any better. And you're not you're not developing a player. You're not giving him experience. Give THT those minutes, man. You know, if you want to experiment Wes Matthews, throw him in here and there a little bit, fine. Whatever. You know, he's a depth spot. If someone gets hurt, Wes Matthews is a good guy. He's a veteran. He can come in, fill that role. I'd be confident he could fill it in, decently. But I don't. I think he's starting to get it, Vogel. You've seen him. He's starting to put in THT, so he's starting to figure it out that we're right here. So let's just hope this continues. And again, THT had a little rough night last night. I'm really going to be frustrated if come Thursday, THT's benched. That's just not the way to coach, man. You can't keep doing that, dude. That's mentally screwing him up. So that's what I'm going to say about that.
Okay, let's move on to the Celtics game. Relatively low scoring, 96-95. Dramatic finish. LeBron 21-7 and 7. AD played very well, 27 and 14. Schroeder 12 and 7. Harrell had a pretty good game, 16 and 5. THT got 23 minutes, 6, 4 and 2. Kuzma 11 and 6. Tatum 39 and 3. 30 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists.
Okay.
Jaylen Brown 28 and 3, and that's pretty much it. Kemba Walker didn't show up.
Marcus Smart got hurt or something. He was awful.
Yeah. So what do we make of this one?
This is a hard fought game, and I am so glad we pulled this off. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what? I don't have a whole lot to say about this game because AD finally showed up. I was really happy to see that. And the Celtics are one of the best teams in the league. So this game, again, this is what the Sixers game should have been. You know, a hard-fought, back-and-forth game. You know, but unfortunately, that Sixers game, we were down most of the game. So I was happy to see us battle. You know, I think there were still some bonehead plays, some stupid turnovers, just kind of, again, you know, kind of checking out for certain plays, some defensive breakdowns. But at the end of the day, it was a hard-fought game between two really good teams, and I was really happy we were able to find a way to win. It would have been a heartbreaker if we lost that one too. You know, and I think a lot of Lake fans weren't completely thrilled about this game. But to me, again, you're on a deep road trip at Boston. That's a hard task. The fact that they just got a W, you know what? I'll take it. Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest. We didn't come in there and just cruise through, but we got the W. So I will take that because screw the Celtics.
Not only do we just get the W, I just watched that final sequence again, and we got lucky.
Yeah, Kemba had a good shot at it.
Kemba, the classic step back Kemba.
Yep.
That's his shot.
Yeah, we could have lost that game. Like I said, I mean, it was a close one.
That's his favorite shot. And then Tice gets a rebound, a putback, and he misses it. Barely. Yep. He's looking for the foul. No foul called. Game over. We run out of the garden. We get out of there.
Literally, I think LeBron actually ran. He ran out of the arena, if I remember correctly. I think he was like, "I'm out of here, dude. We got the W. So, again, though, I need to see AD step up in these big games. we just have high expectations for him, man. I mean, I think that's why Laker fans are so hard on him. It's because our expectations are so high, and I think he understands it. He has high expectations for himself.
Yeah.
Am I worried? No, but at the same time, it's something to watch. He stepped up in the playoffs last year. I just always worry we're going to get an 80 soft game 7 of the Western Conference Finals against the Clippers or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's my only worry. Like, okay, so maybe I have a little bit of a worry, but I trust him, dude. I trust him because he proved it last year, that he could be consistent throughout it all. So
cool. Well, do you want to take a quick break?
Let's take a quick break.
Okay, folks, we're back with the second half. Oh, that's funny. The second half.
Yeah, second half.
It's like a game of the Lakers Lens podcast. Our final game of the week, which is technically yesterday, Monday. Lakers played the Hawks. We won. It was 107-99. It was closer than the score reflects. That last 1 or 2 minutes was like a crazy sequence of defense.
Yeah. And
steals, and we just put it away within 2 minutes. But pretty close the entire game. LeBron 21, 9 and 7, 80, 25, 2 and 2.
3 blocks too, I think.
Yeah,
that was huge.
Schroeder 16, 3 and 3, KCP 11 and 2. Harrell put in a nice 19 points. Caruso 8 and 2. No shows from THT and Kuzma. On the other side, John Collins 22 and 7. Clint Capella 16 and 13. Kevin Huerta. Kevin
Marcellus Huertas.
Yeah. 10 and 3. Trae Young 25 and 16. So what did you see from that game?
So first, I want to say that you saying Caruso was a no-show was a little disrespectful because he would definitely showed up.
No, I didn't say that.
You said no-show THT and Caruso.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I said Kuzma.
Oh,
THT
my bad. I thought you said okay. Well, anyways,
we'll go back and check. Maybe
Caruso
I meant Kuzma.
Yeah. So I was like, Caruso was phenomenal.
No, I agree.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he was just Caruso. He was Caruso.
Yeah.
So one thing I really want, and we started to do it as the game progressed on, but I texted this in our group chat. Sorry about that. I have the Clipper and Nets game on in the background.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm watching that.
Hear it.
Yeah. So, anyways, so what I was texting in the group chat is that I don't want, again, you're talking about like habits earlier and something, or a trend. I don't want to see a trend where we stop transitioning and fast breaking. That is, we are literally at our best offensively when we transition and we get out and run. And we started to do it a little more, and at the end, Caruso had that amazing, or I think it was LeBron stripped it, and then Caruso got it, ran out, and passed it to LeBron, right? Yeah, he threw it over the head of LeBron. So my point is, like, those plays, that's what we need to keep seeing that. I don't want to fall into this trap of, it's kind of laziness to not transition. I don't want to fall into the trap of, like, let's just run the shot clock down. And, when we get out and run, we are so dangerous. And don't get me wrong, we're still doing it. We outlet fast. But I've noticed sometimes we get away from that a little bit. I want to just make sure that we keep doing that. I think that's going to be so important. That's how we're literally unstoppable when we can do that. KCP's in a little bit of a slump right now. He hit a couple shots, so he kind of got it going a little bit, but he's definitely been in a little bit of a slump lately. Early he just couldn't get a shot to fall. I'm not too worried. All shooters go in slumps. It's just part of it. So I want him, though, like Stu Lance said this in the broadcast. He's like, just keep shooting. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you need to just be confident. KCP That's what he's done in the past. He like gets a little hesitant. You know, I'm curious if you've noticed that, but he kind of like when he's missing, it goes to his head a little bit. So keep that confidence up, dude. That's my advice to KCP. Stupid fouls by Schroeder, just reaching on Trae Young, just stupid, dude. I don't understand why in turnovers, and like there was a play where he cut to the basket and AD threw it to him. Schroeder was wide open. You got to look at the ball. When you cut to the basket, you don't just because Schroeder thought, AD is just gonna isolate. He was open and AD was pissed. He's like, "What are you doing? You know, focus things." Dude, it's something with Schroeder that's really bothering me. I think it's just how he is, but man, like I know it bothers you too, but. What are your thoughts on that?
He just seems like he's not mentally there. Like
it
seems like his head is somewhere else, and he plays like as the game comes to him, but not in a good way. Like you know how like good players will say like let the game come to you. Mm-hmm. He does that, but not in the wrong way. Like he's not thinking anywhere in the future. He's just making decisions like in that moment that are bad decisions. And I'm worried. Let me say this: can he guard those guards that are, I mean, like A-list guards? Like
if he doesn't foul.
Curry, Westbrook, Kyrie. I mean, can he guard these players?
I honestly think he can. I think it needs to be a team effort, but he has let's not, he has shown us some good things defensively this year. Let's not act like he's been horrible defensively. He's shown us some good things. I think it's just again it's a lot of just dumb just focus things. Like those fouls he was picking up on Trae Young, like just stop it. Like a lot of them he was Trae Young was throwing his body into people, but there was a couple where it was like in the backcourt he was trying to reach. Like I like the aggression, but be smart about it, man. Like it was just dumb. THT came in really early in the first. I was happy to see that. One thing that sucks for him, and this is just because he's young, he doesn't really get much calls. Like, he doesn't really get the calls. There's been a lot of plays he has gotten knocked on the ground, and the refs don't call it. If that's James Harden, if that's Trae Young, they're right at the line. I mean, it's a deeper issue with the NBA, but that was a little annoying. But again, he's a young guy. He's going to have to, just work through that. Kuzma, I had wrote here, something with his mechanics on his shot are just awful, man. Like, we have a shootings coach? When you, like, the best shooters in the league shoot every time they go into their motion, it is exactly identical to the next time they shoot it. The way, sometimes he shoots it, and I would have to just, like, honestly show it visually. But bottom line, like, long story short, when he shoots 1-3, it looks different than how he shoots another 3. That's not good. He needs to be consistent. It's almost like he needs a shooting coach. So it was just something I noticed in that game, and I wanted to point out. He also had THT wide open the corner, and then Kuzma just was like, no, I'm going to take it, and then bricked it. It's like... little things about Kuzma. He's been okay, and I'm not trying to rip on him. I like the little things he's doing. He's actually defending pretty well, which has been interesting. I don't know, man. I still want to see him improve offensively. That's just me. And I know he's kind of filled into his role. But again, dude, we're talking about how we want guys to take the pressure off LeBron. Kuzma's a guy that can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. Like, where's the old Kuzma coming off the bench, dude? Like, where's that old Kuzma that just was unconscious, dude? He had 43 or whatever against the Pistons that one game. I mean, I just miss that Kuzma, man. I think that's why I'm so hard on him.
Well, we did see a little bit against the Pistons, and I think that is a good testimony. Like, you're not going to see that against a good team this season. It seems
it sucks. I hate it. But I
like,
think
why does that happen against the Pistons? Is it because no one else is playing? Like, it's a bad
because he feels more confident and AD's out.
Exactly.
It's literally mental. Like, I don't care. Like, just play your game, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I could go on about this for a while, but I just want to see more aggression. That's it.
Yep.
I really like the combination of AD and Montrez together. I think they work really well together.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to point out that Montrezl Harrell has played pretty well this year overall. I just wanted to give him a shout out because I feel like we haven't talked about him a lot.
Yeah, it's true.
And he's played really well. Like, he's been pretty consistent. Like, he's had a couple games where it was like, we need more. But, like, I mean, we're not talking about him in these, in these conversations because he's kind of doing what we expected him to do. But still, you got to give him props because he's playing really well. So I just wanted to give a shout out there. Gasol's shot has been awful. Very disappointing there. I would have hoped he could knock down that three. That's all I wanted, man. Just him knock that down that three, and he just hasn't been.
Yeah.
I want to get shots earlier in the shot clock. I think we're hesitating. There's too much isolation. And missed free throws. I said LeBron. I'm just sick of it. I need to say it again. I know I said this earlier, dude. It's unreal, man. It's unbelievable. LeBron had 9 points heading into the fourth quarter. That was a little interesting. Caruso is our best role player. That's just undoubtedly... I mean, that guy's phenomenal. I literally have run out of ways to describe how much I appreciate this guy. I'm about to get a jersey, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously. And then one thing I want to leave this to you, Matt, to end this about the Hawks. How are you feeling that Wes Matthews it looks like he's getting fully benched for THT? I mean, you must be so happy about that.
I am, but I want to bring up, like, kind of what you said. I know THT's leash is short, and I was really disappointed, not in him, but, like, he didn't capitalize.
Yeah, he didn't play that well.
Which is sad, because who knows how short that leash is. I'm sure we'll find out on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as, like, that game goes, I love it. Get him out of there.
Yeah, I don't have any issue. He shouldn't even be
on the plane.
I don't have any issue with it, man. And you know what? Like I said, I feel like I'm sorry, guys. I'm like a broken record here, but I want THT to make these mistakes because that's how he's going to learn. I know I literally have repeated this a million times, and I'm sorry for that, but it's the truth. It's just the truth. So I'll be really curious, like you said, to see the leash, and also just if he does play THT, I really hope he does, to see how he bounces back on Thursday because it's a big game. You know what? Step up, dude. Step up, bro. This is your time.
Here's the thing about the Lakers, and it seems like the past 3 or 4 years, there's always one young guy that we like to develop. It started with Kuzma, you could say. Or
Clarkson.
Yeah, Kuzma. Clarkson, Clarkson, Kuzma, Caruso.
Lonzo.
And now... Yeah, first round.
Oh, yeah. A little bit.
Like, just more underrated guys that
you're
not expecting to blow up.
Yeah.
And now it seems like THT is filling that role because we're not playing Alfonso McKinney or Antetokounmpo. But if we're only gonna have one of those guys, then make it be THT. And I think Frankie Vogel is kind of realizing that now, and he's redirecting those minutes from Wesley Matthews to our boy, and I like to see it. I love it. I like it more. I know you like THT, but I like more that Wesley Matthews is not playing in the games.
That's totally
I'm a big
fair.
advocate for that.
Totally get that. He hasn't done anything, and he's got his opportunities. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's move on to this
Previews.
coming week. Kind of a short week on the calendar, but we're gonna cover that Monday game. Just because they're playing on Monday again. So Thursday night. This is the first matchup with the Nuggets, who I know
we're back home, right?
you are worried about. I think you're muted. Hello?
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. I turned off my sound.
Okay.
I know you're worried. What are you thinking? I mean, we have a 3-day break, so we should be rested and healthy.
Back home.
Back at home. Yeah.
We haven't really played well at home this year, but this is a game that's a big one. Nuggets are a great team. They got a center that's playing again. A little different than Embiid, but at the same time, him and Embiid are the two best bigs in the game. Let's say fives, not bigs, because AD is the best big in the game. But fives, Embiid and Jokic are. So I think what I'm looking at in this game is how are we going to contain Jokic? Kind of like we went into the Sixers game. This is very interesting because unlike the Sixers, they're in the East. The Nuggets, we might see them in the playoffs, right? And Jokic is going to be... We were able to lock him up last year pretty well. We had Dwight, and we had McGee, and AD played on him a little bit. And AD, gosh, he's locked up Jokic in the past. But also, you don't want to just throw AD on him and say you're guarding him the whole game. It's gonna tire him out. It's gonna beat him up, and then on the offensive end, AD is gonna be too tired. You want to throw different guys at him. Gasol, honestly, like that signing was like part of the reason that signing was to stop Jokic. I think probably Pelinka expected Gasol to be a little bit better defender than he's been this year. But I want to see that matchup. That's my matchup of the game. I want to see Jokic versus Gasol early. I want to see if that's going to be a problem for us or if it's something like, okay, listen, he's going to play well, but can we contain him a little bit?
It's going to be a problem, I'm telling you right now.
Initially it probably will be. But you know what? I'm just curious. I want to see it. I want to get some tape on it. I want to see how he does.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my key to that game. I think... Listen, we're better than the Nuggets. We all know that. But you can't put your guard down. You can't coast at all. You got to be ready to play because they're going to be ready to play. They're going to want to beat us from last year. We beat them in 5 games. They're going to want to beat us.
Yep.
So we got to be ready to play.
Well, they don't have Jeremy Grant anymore, and he was kind of the guy that was tasked with LeBron, and he's a pretty good defender. So... I look to see LeBron step it up. AD, we'll see. I mean, I think he'll be fine. But Jamal Murray has been underwhelming this year compared to especially the playoffs. He's averaging 19 points a game, which is like not like him.
He can catch fire, though. That's what's scary,
He sure can, yeah. I think... Schroeder has an easier time with him than someone like Trae Young. But it'll be interesting to see how he plays, and I do think that the Nuggets have a really good supporting cast.
Michael Porter Jr.
We got Barton's back, so it's just a different team, and we'll see. They're deeper than us, I think.
Really?
So it'll be.
You think they're deeper?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
Let's see. Let me just look at this.
But
first of all, let me acknowledge they just beat the Jazz, who had won 10 in a row.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Jokic had 47 points and 12 rebounds.
Gosh, jeez, dude. That is... I didn't even know that. That's an insane stat line. My gosh.
Yeah. Looks like Barton... Oh, yeah, Barton starts now. They have Gary Harris, Monte Morris, Michael Porter Jr., who can catch fire at any time. Give you 30 and 10, no problem. I guess they're not super deep, but I think their bench and their individual players have a better chance of having a crazy good game than some of our players do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're streaky. They're kind of streaky.
Yeah. but it'll be interesting to see. So you think we're going to win that game?
Yes, I think we're going to win.
Okay.
I think so. I think we'll be focused.
Yeah, I agree. We'll be rested too.
Yeah, and that rest is huge. Coming back home, you got that extra day off. I think that's huge. We need that after that long road trip.
Yeah. And I'm going to go out and say Saturday, February 6th, Lakers Pistons. I think that is just retribution, revenge for us.
Oh, my goodness.
We are upset about the loss.
I think we'll obliterate them, dude. I said this last time, but I if we lose to them, it's the Twilight Zone, man. We're going to have AD too, most likely.
Yeah.
So, my gosh, dude. Do they have Blake Griffin, dude? No chance against... I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
That guy's not as explosive as he used to be, but...
Yeah, so I think we can just kind of breeze over that one.
I'm sorry, dude. Pistons aren't good. I'm sorry.
Well, and then on Monday, that Monday game on February 8th is against the Thunder, who we have just been steamrolling through.
Shouldn't be an issue either, dude. Honestly.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, I don't really see any issues there. I think I really like oh my god, their point guard. Oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. What's his
SGA?
name? Yeah, SGA. That guy is so talented. I know he's young, but man, I just wish he was in a different situation.
He's like a better Schroeder to me.
I was just gonna say, dude, he might eat Schroeder alive. Again, okay, another thing I'm looking for in all these games is Schroeder. I want to see more from him. This whole podcast is like my main thing. I want to see more scoring from him, dude. Like, I remember I went to the OKC Lakers game. I sat first row last year, and Schroeder, I remember, came off the bench and was unstoppable, dude. I mean, he was like that all last year. Yeah, didn't he average like 20 or something? Like, dude.
Yeah,
I remember being like, we can't stop him. Like, there's nothing we can do. I just miss that. I want to see more of that, man. I really do. Why hasn't he had I want to see him have a 30-point game, dude. Come on, like.
Well, let me ask you this. Now that you bring that up, it makes me think. Is he a bench player?
I was actually going to ask you that.
Is he a sixth man?
We're in a tough situation because he doesn't want to be a sixth man anymore. And because remember he said that, I don't know if you saw the interview. He's like, "No, I'm done being a sixth. I'm done coming off the bench." And I'm pretty sure
back it up, dude.
He made a deal with the Lakers or he talked to Pelinka and he's like, "My role, I want to start for this team." Pelinka probably said okay. I would just like to just experiment. I just want to see what it's like with him and Harrell coming off the bench. Like, wouldn't that be sick, Caruso? Dude? Yeah, I would start Caruso personally, but that's just me. I think the issue you have with that is Caruso's not necessarily like give him the ball and score, which is why I liked Schroeder starting, just because LeBron can do that sometimes. So I don't know. We'd have to figure that out. I just want him to experiment. I just want to see what it would be like. What if he played better? I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. Because what you were describing in OKC was him behind Chris Paul and SGA. So
he was so good too.
Yeah, I think he was trying to prove a point. He proved the point, and now he's underwhelming. So
yeah, he's definitely underwhelming. I mean, I have high expectations for him. Remember that too. Yeah. I have very high expectations, but I say 3-0, dude.
I do too, and I'm gonna make a really bold prediction here. The Pistons game. I could be so wrong on this.
Oh god.
Pistons game on the 6th. Look for THT.
All right.
To have 20+ points.
Wow.
You heard it here first.
Give it to me, dude. Sure. I would love it to be a blowout and THT to get a ton of minutes at the end and just rack up points. That'd be sick.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that happens. But I want to hop into not my favorite part.
You do love this part, though.
I do love this part because I like throwing random stuff at you. Big game on Sunday was the Nets and Wizards. I watched the tail end on NBA TV. The meeting between Westbrook and Durant is always fun.
Oh, so fun.
Ridiculously high scoring game, 149 to 146. Crazy stat lines. Westbrook had 40.
Don't play defense, dude.
Yeah. Well, Harden didn't play, so
yeah. Still with him, Kyrie and KD, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Westbrook went off 41, 10, and 8.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal, your boy, 37, 6, and 4.
Yeah, just an average night for him.
Yeah. On the other hand, Durant had 37, 7, and 6. Joe Harris had 30. Kyrie Irving had 26, 8, and 4. And the thing I wanted to ask you is, where does Bradley Beal belong?
Ooh.
Because we see a game like this, and they just beat one of the best teams. Well, I mean, the Nets are weird right now, but like like their team wise, their roster, like they're one of the best teams. But go ahead.
So, like, where do I want him to go, or like where do I think would be the best fit for him? Best fit.
You look at I just saw a couple memes last week of him, like, literally looked like he was on the verge of tears.
Yeah.
Because he's just doing literally everything he can.
It's ridiculous.
For this team.
I think it's, to be honest with you, because, like, he's been loyal, and I saw a report this morning that said Bradley Beal does not want to get traded. He wants to stay with the Wizards. I don't really care what he thinks. I think it's disrespectful for the GM to keep him, to be honest. Your team sucks. You guys are atrocious. You guys have one of the worst defenses I've ever seen on an NBA team.
Yeah.
You made, like, they should have literally, dude, packaged Wall and Beal for just, like, an insane amount of draft picks. Or like, they should have they should have been in rebuild mode last year. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what they are doing. So I just want to say it's ridiculous. I'm really sick of that situation. I know Beal's loyal and he likes it there, I guess. Or maybe he has a home there and he's happy there. But the guy looks miserable, right? We can see body language. I'm going to take out the Lakers here because that's my ultimate dream. And I truly do believe he would fit in just perfectly with that team. LeBron dishing to him. Imagine, dude, if we somehow kept Schroeder, had Schroeder coming off the bench, Beal starting with... I mean, it'd be ridiculous.
I don't think we'd ever have another draft pick. If
I don't
give up someone like Schroeder.
We don't have enough. Yeah, it just wouldn't work. But I'd like to see him go... It's a tough one.
I'd like to see him join a good team.
No, me too. Definitely a good team. I'm just trying to think.
Like the Heat or something.
You know what? That's actually what I was thinking. I think the Heat would be a great fit for him. I think Spoelstra's a great coach. He would utilize him perfectly. I'm actually going to go with that. You said it. I'm going to say the Heat. I think he would fit in great with that culture. And they kind of need a guy. Him and Tyler Hero would be nice together, I feel like.
Yeah, and he went to Florida.
Yeah, but they would have to probably trade Hero to get him anyways. So he would probably but that's why it would be perfect. He would kind of fill in that role. I mean, obviously starting. I don't think Hero starts, but man, they'd have good shooters with Duncan Robinson. Again, though, I don't know what that trade would look like. So it's like, okay, they might be giving away a lot of their players, but I think just that system would work. That Spoelstra system would be perfect for him. So that's my pick.
I agree.
Say. Other than the
Lakers. My last thing is it's kind of a funny thing. I don't know if you saw it, but like LeBron got in that altercation with the fan last night.
The courtside Karen.
Yeah, did you see her?
Yeah.
She's like a 25-year-old
gold
like
digger.
Yeah. But I don't know if you saw like the audio of the interaction.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was funny, like uh, the guy LeBron calls her husband like an old steroid ass.
Yeah.
And she just, I don't know, she might have been drunk or something. But my question, I guess, is like, have you noticed how LeBron like picks and chooses his battles with like either it's fans or certain players, like
or front office people, like he did.
How does he decide when to chirp and when to just stay quiet and put his head down? Like, it seems like he does it at like random times, whereas other players will do it consistently or never at all. But he just like picks random times to respond.
From what I've noticed, it's usually like when we maybe should be up by more, or we're like right in striking distance to take over a game, but we haven't yet. And then usually it's like when he like misses a shot or something, or like he turns it over, he's a little frustrated, so he's got a little adrenaline, and then someone says something and it kind of sets him off. It's just funny, man. He's so good that like he can literally like let me tell you a quick story here. I think I've told you this, but a while ago when I was younger, it was my first time, or one of my first times. I was young. I went to a Rockets Clippers game, and this was when Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming were on the team. And I remember there was this fan next to me, drunk fan, talking crap. We were like second row or something, and T-Mac, it was on like a free throw. This fan, man, just kept yelling, "T-Mac, you suck!" And he heard it. And T-Mac's, for you guys don't know, he's one of my favorite players of all time. He literally looked over and he's like, "Watch this," and went up, got the ball, threw a full court dime to Yao Ming for the dunk. Next play, gets it, dribbles down, pulls up for three, swish. Just looks back at the fan right next to me and stares him down. Just, dude, it was one of the coolest moments of my life, man. Like, being young and seeing that happen. So I think it's like kind of the same thing. It's like some of these guys are so talented that like they can just pick and choose. I think it's just whatever they're feeling in the moment. You know, I don't think it's necessarily like I'm gonna get pissed right now, or like, you know, I think it's just when they know they can take over a game and they know they have, you know, a mismatch, or they know we're in striking distance. I think LeBron does the same thing where he's like, you know what, I'm gonna take over. Kind of like that Cavs game with the front office guy, and he turned to him and then he just took over. So yeah,
you love to see it. And I think it's also interesting to note that LeBron's never really been in like a legit fight. Like Kobe was in fights.
Not really.
Shaq was in a ton of fights, but LeBron's never been in like a real altercation.
He's good at composing himself, and he's like rarely gets technicals. Like he complains a lot, which is kind of, to be honest, pretty annoying. But like he rarely gets. I think he's got ejected once in his career, and I remember that ejection. Yeah, it was on the Cavs, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a funny thing I wanted to bring up. Especially since it's like a Hawks fan, like, all right.
Yeah, that's a little interesting, but I mean, he liked it. If you heard his press conference, he was like, I think it's great. I miss having fans. Like, I don't think she should have got ejected. He said that. Like, so I think he sometimes gets bored, dude. Honestly.
Yeah.
He's been playing for so long. I think it's just, it's exciting for him. I don't know.
Well, I like that energy, and hopefully, carries it through. I just want to bring up a preview of a couple weeks. I was just looking at the schedule here. In 2 weeks, starting on the 18th, we have 4 games in 6 days. It goes Nets, Heat, Wizards, Jazz. So that'll be a fun episode.
Good luck. Yeah, we'll have a fun one. We'll preview that next week, guys. That's gonna be whoo.
Yeah.
Good luck, guys. It's going to be a test.
Hopefully we can rack up some wins before then, but
exactly.
I think that's about it for us, guys. Looking forward to a 3-0 week. Definitely doable. Mm-hmm. Just make sure you guys check out the Spotify, Lakers Lens podcast, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Instagram is Lakers Lens Podcast. Max, your
Twitter is at Lens Lakers, Lens Lakers, one word. Please give me a follow. Give us a follow. I run the Twitter. Matt usually runs the Instagram. Please, your support would be greatly appreciated, and thank you for those that are listening.
Yep, and make sure to tweet Max your hot takes, arguments. He'll respond. He'll prove you wrong. So, yep. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you next week. 3-0. Praying for it. Go Lakers.
Go Lakers.
THT,
Let's go.
Caruso. Show up.
Caruso. THT. Gonna have a big 3 games. I'm calling it. One of these games, he's gonna have a big one. I'm calling it.
Oh, Pistons. 20+.
Guys, watch out for
20+.
THT against the Pistons. Matt's prediction.
Yep. 20+. Hold me to it. All right, guys. Take it easy. Go Lakers. Bye.